good people in the YouTube world, beyond. It's the Outlier B. It's Thursday. Beautiful, 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 beautiful New York weather out here today is going to be in the lower to mid 80s. The lower to mid 80s. And that's the perfect, perfect, perfect weather for a brother like me. Not going to be humid today. It's just going to be a beautiful, beautiful, warm, and comfortable day, my people. And it's going to be even better because the New York Knicks won last night, y'all. The New York Knicks won game one of the NBA 2026 finals. And it felt kind of good, man. It was a great, great, great game. And before you guys get me wrong here, I am not, I repeat, I am not a New York Knicks fan. However, I do want to see how wild the city get if we were to bring a championship home to the Garden. First and foremost, I would go down there to the parade and give y'all real, real, real footage if they won. If the Knicks won, I'm telling y'all, I will go down to the parade and get you cats real good live footage. Also, if they have the closeout game, I'm gonna tell you guys this, man. Depending on if it's a weekend or not, I might go down there to the Garden for y'all. I might go down there and chill in the Garden with you guys, man. Bring it live to your guys' action. Have you guys ever been to New York? My people want to check in. We got 3 people on the check in. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if this is what you are into. If this is what you are into. What up, y'all? What up? Have you guys ever been to New York City or any other parts of New York? I be kind of fronting on my people from upstate New York. What up to y'all? I never been upstate, man. I never really been upstate. But I do want, matter of fact, I have been upstate. I've been to Cooperstown once. I went to the Baseball Hall of Fame. I don't know how I forget that. When I was a kid, I told you guys baseball was my favorite sport. So my mother and my step pops, Phil, he took me up to Cooperstown. Me, my cousin Ace, who hosted the show with me back in the day. My other cousin Trent, who y'all see me, the baby that y'all see me walking with, my little niece, that's his baby. So my mother took us up there one time to Cooperstown, New York. So I have been upstate New York. I've been to Cooperstown, but I never been to Buffalo, Utica, what else? Albany. Never been to those types of spaces. We got somebody on the check-in. They said, "Hey, bro, what up? What up? What up? What's going on? How you feeling? Where you coming in from?" We got somebody else on the check-in. Christian Hadogas said, "Hello, what's going on, Christian? How you doing? I'm straight." Big Mott, he said upstate is Fishkill. I ain't never been to Fishkill. You know that, Big Mott. Don't they got a prison up there? Don't they got a prison up there? I guess it's a good thing I ain't never been upstate. I know people in my neighborhood when they talk about upstate, they talk about them jails upstate. Yeah. But nah, y'all ever been to New York, man? All right. Somebody on the check-in. She said, "Hi, hey, what's going on? How you feeling? South Africa, bro. Hope you good, man. South Africa." And the check-in. Somebody said walk funny, so nobody would mess with you. Ha ha ha, you funny, funny. We got South Africa on the check-in. What up? I don't think I ever got anybody on the check-in from South Africa. So shout out to the people in South Africa. That is a place that I would go. Always tell myself, man, I gotta go to the motherland. I'm so, so, so silly, man. It was a time in my life where I was so pro-black, man. So pro-black back in like 99, 2000. Like I said, I would never go to any other continent outside of the United States because I am from the United States, unless I went to Africa first, man. And I was so crazy that I was like, yo, I want to go to Egypt. Egypt would be the place that I would go to in Africa. But as I've gotten older and more mature, I definitely would go to Europe, depending on whichever one come first, man. Whichever one come first, Europe or Africa. But I put just as much emphasis on West Africa too, understanding my lineage. You feel me? So I would definitely go to West Africa before I would go to East Africa, and that's no disrespect to anybody on the African continent. It's all love, you know what I mean? But I would definitely want to go to West Africa first. So we got somebody else on the check-in. They said, what's up from the UK? UK on the check-in. Jose, what you talking about? The UK is on the check-in. Shout out to the people in the UK. Shout out to the people in the UK. I do want to go to UK. I want to watch a boxing match at what are those big arenas that they have over there, man, for boxing? I know Tyson Fury might be fighting AJ. If that is in the UK, I'm definitely headed over there for that, man. I'm gonna try to, man. I ain't even gonna front. I'm gonna try to, but I do. I think it's what the K2 arena that they got out there, the K2, where they be having a lot of boxing matches. But we got 15 people on the check-in. 4 thumbs up. Hit that like button, y'all. Hit that like button if this is something that you into. And I'm just a regular brother on the street, walking him way to work, talking about his day, talking about his day. And before we start talking about the Knicks, I do want to let you guys know the status of my research that I've been doing at work. And I told you cats we was working on a couple of emails. I worked on them over the weekend, did a little bit of calls, got all the supporting evidence that I thought I needed, man. But then, soon as I walk in to work yesterday, one of my invisible workers, you know what I mean, people who work for me that don't nobody know, they be like, yo, Mr. Lewis, check what happened to me yesterday. So I jot it down. I get that example. Then I got some invisible workers on the street, and they come back and they tell me that whatever I was looking for, the first thing I was looking for, what I was doing all the research for, is what they observed. And they got direct evidence of it. So that made my job much easier. I connected those two examples with what I was already working with. And I think now we got a strong case now, man. Strong supported case that I do not believe anybody could poke holes in, man. It's an airtight case. So that feels kind of good. That's finally done. But I still got a whole bunch of stuff lined up for today that I gotta get done, man. But we gonna do it. We gonna do it. So, what up, man? Was good. I'm a little tired, man. Stayed up last night watching that game. And what a beautiful game it was. And again, I am not a New York Knicks fan. And I just hope the people in New York are gonna keep it real to them. Because they're gonna make me mad. I already know it, son. Everybody gonna be walking around with a New York jersey, all on the train, all on the streets. Everybody gonna say, go New York. It's gonna be the craziest thing, man, because New Yorkers, man, I love y'all. I am one of y'all. But y'all be jumping from team to this, to that, to that, you know? Long Island, we keep it real, son. Like, I'm not into hockey, but I know when it comes to hockey, the Islanders, man, they be representing for the Islanders, man. I used to live in Rockville Center, right? Rockville Center, which is predominantly white neighborhood. And my building, it was a bunch of, people into hockey. And on those hockey games, man, those hockey nights, you'll see 10, 15 people walking out of the building in Islander jerseys. I'm like, damn, that's some support. Then, if you ride the Long Island Railroad sometimes, you see those Islander fans, man, they're some of the craziest people out here in the city, man. You catch them coming back from the game at night after they done been drinking. It's craziness, man. It's craziness. But the point of the matter is this, man. New Yorkers be jumping from team to team to team to team, man. And people who don't know nothing, don't know nothing about no basketball, gonna be talking like they been following the whole season, man. And the funniest thing is that you could tell as soon as they start talking, I just be sitting there in my head laughing, son. Like, yo, you think, like in your head, you think, you think, you know, in your head, you really, really, really think that I believe you, you know? Somebody said, I'ma stop at the store on the way to the you're gonna stop at the store on the way to what you talking about, Big Mike? Somebody said, that's gonna be a good fight. Facts, facts. AJ and Tyson Fury, that definitely is gonna be a good fight for boxing and for the UK. UK fighters are known for having heart, man. They're known for having a lot of heart and being tough guys. And I also like their personalities, yo. You know, rest in peace to the legend, Ricky Hatton. I love Ricky Hatton personality, man. Ricky Hatton was a no joke type of dude, man. You know, he a brother like me, a blue collar guy. You know, he just put his head down and keep going. And you ain't gonna get him to quit. You know, I know he lost to Pacquiao. Pacquiao did him dirty, but he fought his fight, you know, for as long as it lasted. And he definitely fought his fight against my boy Floyd for as long as it lasted. But shout out to Ricky Hatton, RIP to Ricky Hatton. I also think Tyson Fury is hilarious. You know, he was calling my boy Deontay Wilder a big dosa. You big dosa. He's a dosa. You big dosa. He, he said, you just a big bum from Alabama. Yo, he's hilarious, yo. Tyson Fury is one of the funniest dudes in boxing. You know, a lot of people don't like him, but I know when Tyson Fury get his stuff together and he focused, like in the second Usyk fight, I think that fight was closer than what people gave it credit for. I also think the first fight was closer than what people gave him credit for. So shout out to Tyson Fury. I like Tyson Fury. He's hilarious. And you know, if that fight go through, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. You know. So yeah, we getting back to that Knick game, man. It's a beautiful game, y'all. A beautiful game. You know, but New Yorkers don't be flipping the script. Don't be flipping the script. So yeah, personally, I really thought San Antonio was gonna win, man. Especially being at home. I thought that they would win. I'm looking at the competition that the Knicks had leading up to the finals, and I'm like, they kind of got lucky with who they got to face. And there was times where, you know, I don't know how they was doing it, man. You know, it just seemed like they was hot in all of those games. And then, you know, being a person of stats myself, I'm like, yo, they gotta calm down. They gotta calm down sometime. And I'm like, they can't be hot throughout the whole playoffs and finals. Then San Antonio, I'm looking at all the teams that they beat. They were definitely some real tough competition leading up to it. I looked at their games. I thought that their shooting was amazing. I thought that Wemby was definitely the best player or one of the best players in the league, but that he would be the best player on the court. I also felt as if Wemby's size would make it harder for Brunson because Brunson is a low guy. He likes to, you know, penetrate. And with the size of Wemby, I thought that it would definitely be an issue. So in my head, I'm like, yo, there's no way that the Knicks could win this. And I think that y'all could go back onto my page and see what I said. But happily, I was wrong, man. I was wrong. And I'm looking at the first quarter. I see the Knicks jump out to a huge lead. They definitely was shooting. Their shots was going in. They threes. I'm like, all right, it's gonna be a great night, and maybe their hot streak will keep on going. But then I started seeing how San Antonio would pass the ball and they would penetrate the Knicks defense, have the defense reacting where they couldn't really get set. They were making transitions, and I saw the ball beating out the runners or the legs, and they couldn't get to the shooters quick enough. And San Antonio started coming back and building a little lead. So I was like, damn, yo, just looking at the style of play and looking at the way things are going, I don't think the Knicks gonna win this. So Knicks started pulling away, and they closed the gap a little bit. I think it was like what, a couple of points off. I think Knicks was down like maybe two going into halftime, and it was looking like a good game. Then I think in the third, that's when the Knicks got cold. The Knicks got cold in the third. San Antonio pulled out to a little lead, and I'm like, damn, son, it's gonna be a problem. I don't think that they could come back because their offense was looking real stagnant. Offense was looking real stagnant. I think the Spurs was going on like 11-0 runs, 9-0 runs, and it looked like the Knicks can only score on offensive rebounds. And it looked like they were losing all the 50-50 balls. So I'm like, man, whenever that type happen, I'm like, yo, I look at the 50-50 balls. Whoever wins those, that's when it could be a close game, but I'm putting them all into perspective. And whoever's getting those little slight advantages from things like that, whoever's making the free throws, and Wimby and everybody was hitting their free throws. So I'm like, yeah, it ain't looking too good for these dudes. It definitely ain't looking too good for these dudes. So we got 25 people on the check-in for likes. Hit that like button, man. We going over the game. We going over the game last night. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe. If this is something you're into, you dig. If this is something you're into. So yeah, so then going into the fourth, it seemed like the Knicks started getting back into it. And I think the Knicks took a lead by they was going back and forth. I think they would take a 1 point or 2 point lead, and it was going back to back, man, back to back. A lot of sloppy play, a lot of missed 3-pointers, things like that. And I'm like, damn, they moving. And I'm nervous the whole time. Nervous the whole time. We got somebody else on the check-in says Spurs in 5. All right, Spurs in 5. You saying they gonna win 4 in a row? We gonna see. We gonna see. So yeah, they going back and forth. It's getting close. And then Brunson just started taking over, man. He was hitting tough shots. Uh, it was crazy. Hard, I guess, because he was in foul trouble early, but then he grabbing a whole bunch of rebounds, putting pressure on people when he's supposed to put pressure on people. Robinson, I'm looking at him playing great defense, and Cat was killing them. And one of the biggest surprises for me in this game was how Cat was able to beat Wemby off the dribble. I did not see that happening, man. Wemby be recovering all the time, but he's getting beat off the dribble, son. Oh, I think I figured. I think I know why. Probably because he's trying to close out on the three. Because when somebody like Cat got the rock, he liable to pull up. Liable to pull up. Then he win the 3-point contest one year. Then he win the 3-point contest one year. So I guess they trying to close out on him, and he just crossing his legs up and beating him to the basket. But this is gonna be a good one, man. It's gonna be more competitive than what people thinking. More competitive than what people thinking. Somebody said, you just making content, taking a walk. Yes, sir. Making content, taking a walk. I'm on my way to work. I got to catch 5 o'clock train. 5 o'clock train. My boy Kev Griff said the New York Knicks need to do more boxing out. Facts, 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 Kev. The more offensive rebounds is killing them, y'all. And that's another thing that I always notice, man. It's like in every sport, that's something that always, go across every sport. A turnover often leads to another point or second. In basketball, it's more of second chance points always kill you. So if you notice in plenty of basketball games, you get an offensive rebound, often they kick it out and it leads to an open three for somebody. So boxing out is a major part of the game, man. Major part of the game. Yeah, but the Knicks did it, man. Knicks did it. Somebody said, hell yeah. Somebody said, I'm a Blazers fan. You talking ball? Yeah, we talking a little ball, talking a little ball. You like the Blazers? You like the Blazers? That's what's up. And anytime we get a Blazers fans up here, y'all know I got to tell y'all my Scoot story. You feel me? My Scoot story. So check it. Scoot Henderson. Y'all got to know that his family is from Long Island, Hempstead, New York. And back in the 80s, I used to live next door to his pops. Back in the 80s, I used to live next door to his pops. Shout out to Hempstead, Martin Luther King Drive. Y'all already know what it is. And him and my brother was best friends. and they used to rap together. So again, I knew his pops since I was a kid, and his pops used to, he used to do a lot with me, man. He used to help me with my math. He used to tutor me, help me with my spelling, and his pops used to be one of the nicest rappers. You feel me? One of the nicest rappers. So I remember the day they moved to Atlanta because my brother was kind of mad. Like I said, they was best friends. So I remember him moving to Atlanta, man. And him and his wife. I remember they got married. Also, like I said, I remember they moved to Atlanta, and then y'all know the rest. They had Scoop out there in Atlanta. Scoop got drafted, and I think he was the number 3 pick for the Blazers. So out here in New York, especially Long Island, Hempstead, everybody out here loves Scoop, man. He got a lot of support out here. Somebody said, no lie. That's crazy. That's facts, man. That's 100% facts. So we definitely root for Scoop out here. We also, I like Portland. I definitely used to follow Portland when I was a kid. Clyde the Glide. That was my mother's. My mother used to watch basketball because I told y'all my brother played basketball. He played for Hempstead High School. And if y'all go back and look at state championships from like 91, 92 in the 80s, Hempstead was one of the best schools for basketball out here in New York. Best schools out here in New York. So my mother was into basketball. And the Blazers was her favorite team. She used to like Clyde Drexler, man. I used to want to punch Drexler in his face. You feel? My mother used to think he was cute for some reason. She used to think Clyde Drexler was fine. So she used to follow him. And she used to love him, yo. Him and Sean Kemp. I don't know why she liked them dudes. Him and Sean Kemp. But yeah, I made it. I'm about to go in here, make me some tea. But I love y'all, man. Thank you for checking in. I catch y'all tomorrow. Somebody said I hate Portland, the town. I love the teams, though. Facts. How is Portland, man? How is Portland? Didn't Portland start a few things? I know Portland started a few things, right? I was watching something about the history of like Seattle. I looked at Portland, and I know y'all like y'all real progressive out there. Am I right? Like y'all a whole bunch of new inventive like things that y'all do with homeless and stuff like that I hear about. I don't know. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Somebody said New York filled with Twinkies. what you talking about, man? What's a Twinkie? Somebody said me and my cousin Anthony Washington played for Hempstead. He was 6'11". Okay, what? You played for the stat? That's what up. What year you played for the stat? What year you played for the stat? Yeah, tell them how nice Hempstead used to be in basketball, man. Just a straight up powerhouse, yo. Straight up powerhouse. I was a kid going to those games, my brother's games. So I remember like Sean White, like back in that time in the early 90s, S1 and them type of dudes, Jermaine Sapp, my brother, Brett, Drew. So y'all already know what it is. Somebody said I live in the country in the country of Oregon. That's dope. All right, that's what up. All right, all right. All right, y'all. I'm about to get up out of here. Thank you, cats, for checking in, man. I will check you cats tomorrow. Peace out, man.